Hello, this is Gary Oakes from onlinetutorship.com. This video tutorial is regarding the advanced website builder in Tailor Brands. This tutorial is going to focus on rows, columns and sections. I've uploaded here a templated website. This is a really great place to start. This is actually a 3-page website. It has the home, the about and services. If I go to the home page, if I go to any page, let's stick with the home, you can see that we have something highlighted here called a row. The website is made up of rows. There's another one here. And this is where you actually add your content. If you wish to add a row, say a row above this one, if you go to the row tab here, right hand mouse click, you have the opportunity to add a row above or a row below. And we'll add a row above. And now we have the row. And here we have a column. And in the rows we do have columns, and you can have a number of columns. This is just a one column. If I right hand mouse click, I can add another column. And now we have 2 columns. If we want to add 3 columns, you just add another column. So now we have 3 columns. So we have a row with 3 columns. And you can delete the columns by just clicking on the red. If you wish to delete a row, just go to the row, click and delete. Let's add a row above this one. Add a row above. We have a row, but we can actually add an inner row. So if we go to row, add inner row, this now becomes an inner row. You may ask, what's the difference? Now the thing about this is that you can actually now add a row above. So that row is now is another inner row within the row. So here's a row. We now have an inner row with just 1 column, and we have an inner row with 2 columns. And again, if you wish to add another inner row, so go inner row, add row below, we now have an inner row below. And as before, you can split this into split the columns. You can go in a row, add a column. Now this becomes a 2 column. This is really useful if you want to add various bits of content within the row. Also, you can add columns by going into widgets. Widgets. You can see here 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, 4 columns. You can add a 4 column by just dragging it. It'll automatically create the row. Now we have a row with 4 columns. If I now go into row, add an inner row, 1 column, it actually breaks this first inner row up into 2 columns. If you go to inner row and add a row below, it's now breaking this section up here, this column. It has an inner row of 2 columns and another row here with 1 column. So you can really start breaking this up. If you want this to be broken up in the same way, click the right hand mouse button here and add inner row. You can now break this column up accordingly. And if you want to add an empty column below, as shown there, you can add a row below. And there's 1 here. And if you want this to be more columns, in a row, add a column. This now becomes 2. So you can see how you can start breaking up the page. So that basically covers adding a row, adding columns and inner rows. The next one to look at is sections. Now to add a section, you'll see here the plus sign, and it says add section. These are predefined rows you can actually add to your website. Depends what you're looking for. So if I was looking for, say, a video, these are video type sections you can now add. Let's see what this one is. So I'll add this one here. So this is actually added in a particular section. The video is here on the right. You can click through the various sections by clicking the arrows here to see if there's something else that you might wish to have. See the video moving here. This section here has a title, has some text, and it has the video below it. Let's go with that. So if you're happy with this, you then say save. And then you edit it accordingly. We can add another section in, so let's have a look. So if we go to add section, this time we might want to add the team. There are various formats you can add here. Let's add this one. See what it looks like. Here we go, so it's meet the team. And if you're happy with this format, again, you can select different ones. Oh, that looks a good one. Maybe that's one we need to have. And when you're happy with it, just press save. Just a couple of things I'd like to add. If you would like to change the column size, here is an example here where we have one row with 2 columns. If I go into the center of the 2 columns, I can now drag that to make the column smaller on the right and larger on the left. You can also change the row height by going to the top or the bottom of the row. In this case, I'm going to drag it down. As you can see, it changes the row height. You might want to repeat the row design. As in this case, there are 3 rows here, very much of the same design. Have an image with some text. Rather than create these 3 rows separately, you can copy and paste a row. So if you go to row, click, and say copy, and then say row paste, it then pastes the row below. So now you have a copy of the above row. And you can change the image and text just as they have done here. I'd also like to add that you can actually add a row by adding widgets. So if I go to widgets and say I want to select a text widget and I drag it across to here, you can see it will now insert a row. So this widget is now within a row. If I want a button widget, I can drag it along here. You can see now insert a row. So it will actually create the button within a row. So by adding widgets, it's another way to add rows.